Thank you. All right, yesterday wrapped up our Mastering Your Listing Conversation series. I think that we've been working on that for the last 2 weeks. If you did not catch any of it or you missed parts of it, go to my YouTube channel and just start with Mastering the Conversations of Real Estate Listing. I can't talk this morning. Mastering your Real Estate Listing Presentation. There we go. Part 1. And work your way through all the videos and you'll be able to catch the entire thing. Goes pretty in depth with a lot of repetition. And repetition is the mother of learning. So hopefully you're okay with repetition. Let me just check Zoom land and make sure they can hear me. Paige, talk to me so I know if you guys can hear me out there. Okay.
I can hear you.
Cool, loud and clear. By the way, new microphone ordered. So this awkward headset, so you guys can hear me in Zoom without me going in and out, which is what I understand I've been doing. And then everybody in the room can hear you, which ideally is what I want. As soon as the new mic shows up, then we're good to go. Until then, it's kind of awkward, but we'll work our way through it. So for the next, it's going to be a while. We're going to talk about the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And I'm just going to start in the beginning of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and I'm going to share my ahas with you. I'm going to share them with you. I'm going to tell stories, and I'm going to talk about why or what this means to me and my vision, or as my friend Alan Waxman would say, my hallucination is that we'll have a conversation back and forth. And then again, for everybody here in Coral Springs, it's in our training room. First of all, thank you for coming. As soon as Survive to Thrive is over at 9:30, I'm shutting down my computer and we're going to practice and role play scripts. And if you want to practice and role play scripts with me, then you have to be in Coral Springs to do that. So like Karen, you'd have to jump on a plane and fly to Florida. Sorry. Okay. We're going to start on page 21 of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Please take notes. When I'm finished, what I'm doing is I'm going through in my journal and I'm writing all my ahas from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And when I'm finished, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of those ahas into a document that I am going to email to anybody who wants it. So I've read this book probably 40 times. If you're interested in what stands out to me, you'll be able to get that in a document because I will email it to you when I'm finished. You guys see value in that?
Yep.
Should I stop? Keep going?
Yes.
Okay. All right, to have a better chance of hitting the target, aim high. Page 21. Gary Keller starts out by telling a story about a young man who is camping with his grandfather, I think. And they're also protecting a herd of sheep, right? And in the middle of the night, wolves will come and attack the sheep. And he tells him when the wolf is out in a distance, in order to hit the target, you have to aim high. Well, the same thing is true in life and the same thing is true in business. Years and years ago, I promise, years and years and years ago, I ran a marathon. Anybody ever run a marathon?
No.
26.2 miles. For those of you who have run a marathon, that 0.2 miles is the killer. It's like, why didn't they just make it 26 miles? And what I learned in doing that is in my training to run a marathon, I got up to running 14 and 15 miles. No big deal. And I stopped and thought, you know what? If I was training to run a half marathon, 13.1 miles, I would have achieved that goal without even thinking about it. I blew past the goal of running a half marathon by training to run a marathon. Now, what does that mean to me in real estate? If my goal was to sell 24 homes, for example, then I would create a model to sell 36 homes. Or why not? Let's double it, 48. Right, Nick? I would create a model to sell 48 homes in order to blow past my goal of selling 24 homes. But if I create a model in order to sell 24 homes, I might fall short. Now, if you had a goal, Jonathan, of selling 48 homes and you ended up selling 24, how would you feel about that? Let me rephrase the question. Between now and 1 year from now, if you sold 24 homes, how would you feel? How about great? I'd feel great. If your average commission was $10,000 and you made $240,000, anybody in the room interested in $240,000?
Right here.
I've got 99.9% of the hands that went up in the room. Actually, it was 100. Okay, now the next aha that I wrote down is no one can accurately judge what the future holds. Tomorrow is as dark and as difficult to judge as the gap between the shepherd boy and his target. Yet, so often we set our goals as if the next day, month, year, or decade were as clear as an August afternoon. True? Yeah? Page 22, by the way. Aim high, that's the moral of the story. And if anybody ever asks you, if we have a test, and the question is, what is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent about? Well, Gary gives you the answer on page 22. It's about aiming high. That's the entire book is about aiming high. Your approach, your ability, and your willingness to do the work of real estate. Pause. What does the work of real estate mean? What does that say to you when you hear the work of real estate? First of all, how many other brokerages do you think are having conversations like this? Do the work of real estate. Say none, right? What does that mean to you? Lead generation is the work of real estate. Now, Aaron, it's not enough. What does lead generation mean to you? Hitting your contacts? What does that mean? Having conversations. What kind of conversations? Finding some, we're getting better. Finding somebody who wants to buy a home today. Somebody who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. Can I give you a hint? What is work?
Conversations every day. Not 17, not 18, not 19, not 19. It's 20 conversations.
It's been a while since you guys have heard this, so it's not. Yeah, I've unprogrammed you by not sharing this with you every single day. Work is 20 conversations, not 19, not 18, not 17 conversations. Because when you have 17 conversations, Nick, you didn't have the 18th conversation because you settled. You settled for close enough. You also told yourself that you're going to make it up tomorrow. You're like, I was close. I missed it by 3. I'll make it up tomorrow. No, you won't. You're lying to yourself. You're not going to make it up tomorrow. And because you didn't have the 18th conversation, you didn't get the $1 million listing. You didn't get the $1 million listing because you didn't have the 18th conversation. And the worst part about that is you don't even know that you lost the opportunity because you didn't have the conversation. Work is care calls. It's not sale calls. Work is, Clarissa, how are you doing? How's your family? Talk to me about work. Are you still working from home or are you back in the office? By the way, if I had a referral for you, are you accepting new clients? I'll work really hard to help find a referral for you. Hey, last time we spoke, Jonathan, you guys were getting ready to go on vacation. How did it go? Did you have a good time? What was your favorite part? Hey, before I let you go, Aaron, one of my favorite scripts, before I let you go. That lets the other party know that the conversation is almost over, which they like because they don't want to talk to you. It was a joke. Thanks for laughing. Before I let you go, Aaron, just out of curiosity, who do you know that's thinking of buying or selling? Who do you know in your neighborhood? Who do you know from work that's thinking of selling their home? Is that a real estate conversation? Say yes.
Yeah.
Is that salesy? Do you feel pushy?
No.
Then why aren't we doing this? And how do I know we're not? Because you're not listing more homes. If you were doing this 20 times a day, you would get more listings. Yes or yes? Yeah. Work is find somebody today that's thinking of buying or selling a home. Whether it's 30 days from now, 60 days from now, or a year from now, doesn't matter. Because Nick, are you going to need listings a year from now? If you talk to Clarissa and you ask Clarissa, hey, Clarissa, who do you know in your neighborhood? Circle prospecting call. Who do you know in your neighborhood who's thinking of selling their home in the next 6 months? And Clarissa says, well, me, but you know, it's probably going to be another year. Is that a good lead or a bad lead? It's a great lead. Are you going to need listings a year from now? Say yes. It's the same lead as somebody who says, I need to sell my home now. Get over here tomorrow. It's the same amount of money. It's just a year from now. But we're so busy chasing the bottom of the funnel, we forget the top of the funnel, and success lives at the top of the funnel. Man, if you're taking notes, write that down. Is this helping?
Yes.
Should I stop? Keep going? Okay, I will. At this rate, it's going to take us about 2 years to get through this book. So I've got lots of information, lots of material. I hope you're okay with that. Your approach, your ability, and your willingness to do the work of real estate sales will be the greatest determining factors to your success. So I'm meeting with a new real estate agent and they ask, John, how do I build a successful real estate business? Well, here's the answer. Your ability and your willingness to do the work of real estate sales will be the greatest determining factor to your success. And then they ask, well, John, what's the work of real estate sales? What is work? There's the answer. You know, it's just too simple. And some of us want the answer to be complicated.
Yeah.
Some of us are thinking, John, that's just obvious. It's too obvious. It can't be that simple. Yes, it can. In his book, The Aladdin Factor, Mark Victor Hansen, write it down, read that book. In his book, The Aladdin Factor, Mark Victor Hansen teaches us that in life, the size of our answers is determined by the size of our questions. Ask bigger questions.
Good morning, John.
Billy,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. I have a question.
Talk to me.
Talking about making those 20 calls a day. Do you find it, or do you find in agents that are gung ho and ready to go, they've maybe made 5 to 10 calls and then get discouraged because they're not getting the reaction they want or getting the answers they want? What would you suggest for agents that are not as confident on the phone, and how to handle rejection?
Good question, Billy. I'm going to repeat that to the room, Billy, because right now they're sitting in silence. Don't worry, we're fixing this in the next couple of days. And that's a great question. So hold just 1 second. So Billy asked, what happens when an agent starts making these calls? So important. We may not go past this today. What happens when an agent starts making calls and they've had 5 contacts and they're not getting the results that they're looking for, Jonathan? They're not scheduling appointments, or people are hanging up the phone on them. They're being mean. And the agents get discouraged. And that drunk monkey inside of their head starts telling them, John doesn't know what he's talking about. You know, that worked for him, but it won't work for me. It worked in Clearwater, but it doesn't work in South Florida. People in Clearwater are nice. People in South Florida aren't. And by the way, and that drunk monkey starts telling them, this isn't going to work. I'm not getting the results that I want. What advice would I have for that agent? Here it is. Ignore the results. Reject rejection. No is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. People will never change their mind, but what they will do is make a new decision based on new information. And just because I call Nick today on an expired listing call, or for sell by owner call, or a circle prospecting call, or he's part of my database, and I get a negative response, doesn't mean I'm going to stop calling him, because once you're on my call list, you're never coming off. Even if you say, I'm never listing my home with you, don't ever call again. My response is, cool, talk to you in a couple of weeks. Because I am rejecting rejection. Now, ignoring the results, let's talk about that. If you measure success based on completing the activities, you will always be successful. Now, let me explain. Do you have control over scheduling a listing appointment today? Say no, you don't. That's a result. You don't. Now, you can master your lead generation. You can master your lead generation conversion. You can master overcoming objections. And yes, you're going to get better at this. But in 15 years of listing 12 to 15 homes every single month, I didn't get a listing appointment every day. There were days, there were weeks that I went without scheduling a listing appointment. Now, if I was paying attention to that, Clarissa, I would get discouraged. If I'm paying attention to 20 conversations, I have 100% control over that. No one other than me gets to decide whether or not I achieve my goal. Focus on the activities, results will show up. If my goal is to lose weight and I decide that this is my plan to lose weight and I'm going to eat better, notice I didn't say the word diet, Billy, you'd be proud of me. Yeah. My plan is to eat better, and my plan is to exercise every day. And my exercise for me at 58 years old is to walk between 4 and 5 miles a day. And that's real life. That is my exercise plan. If I get on the scale when I get home and I haven't lost any weight, and then I go out the next day and I do it again, and I get on the scale when I get home and I haven't lost any weight, and then I go out the next day and do it again, and I get home and I haven't lost any weight, screw this, it ain't working, I'm done. Because I'm paying attention to the scale. Forget the scale. Don't even get on the scale. Do the activities over time, success will show up. It always does. We choose success, which means we also choose failure. You're either choosing to succeed or you're choosing to fail. Why would anybody choose failure? Well, I know the answer. Because it's comfortable. Because it's a habit. Because it's easy. Success is hard. Okay. A couple more and we're going to wrap it up for the day. Your approach, your ability, and your will. Oh, I already said that. The key to becoming your very best is to think at a very high level. Are you thinking big enough? Can you think bigger? Have you written your goals for 2021? Are they written down? First of all, if they're not written down, that's an aha. We don't set goals because we're afraid we're not going to hit them. What if I don't hit my goals? One of the most common responses from someone who doesn't write their goals down. What if I don't hit them? What if you do? Now, if you've written them, go tear them up and double them. Why not? All right, if you're on Zoom, raise your digital hand, then I'll put these things on and talk to you if you've got an aha. I'd love to hear it. And in the room, talk to me. What did you hear today? What are you going to do different that you haven't done yet? If I'm not me, if I'm you and I'm taking the time to be here, you're not coming because you like the sound of my voice. There's much better things that you could be doing. What do you, if I'm you, I'm finding one thing that I'm going to change daily. In order to get to better, Lucas, I have to get to different. So what am I going to do different? Or what am I going to implement? What's the one thing that I can do such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing you're going to implement? Adolfo, talk to me.
Having 20 conversations a day. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I
D.
have a question.
D,
Okay.
D, D, D. Yes, 20 conversations a day. Do it.
Can you, John, could you expand on ask bigger questions?
Mhm.
Can you give an example?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. What would the question on Zoom for everybody in the room was expand on asking bigger questions. What would my organizational model need to look like in order to gross $1 million a year in real estate? That's a bigger question. What would the org chart, what would the organizational model need to look like in order to gross $1 million a year in real estate? Who, here's a bigger question for someone who's closing a sale a month and they're not looking to hire an administrative assistant yet. They should be. A bigger question would be, who would be the right person to hire as my lead administrative assistant? Most real estate agents don't start asking that question until they're closing 2 or 3 deals a month and they're already in the weeds and it's too late to ask that question. All right, you guys, talk to me.
Aim high or higher. I need to rewrite my goals and then become better at asking better questions.
Become better at asking better questions. Yes, 100%. I don't sell anything. As a listing agent, I don't sit at somebody's kitchen table and sell them on hiring me. All I do is ask great questions that lead them to self-discover that I'm the right agent for the job. When you run out of questions, you lose. Don't run out of questions. One more.
It says the weight loss analogy really stuck with me.
Yeah.
because You don't see results for a long time sometimes.
Yep.
But if you keep at it, you'll get there.
So for everybody in Zoom, if you didn't hear that, the weight loss analogy is a great analogy because you don't see the results unless you stick to the activities. 100% be a Chinese bamboo tree. I'm going to close with that. If you plant a Chinese bamboo tree seed and water and fertilize it, year 1, nothing happens. Year 2, nothing happens. Year 3, nothing happens. Your neighbors are walking by and going, dude, you're watering the dirt. What's up with that? This guy's nuts here and he's just watering the dirt. Year 4, nothing happens. Year 5, it grows 70 feet. Be a Chinese bamboo tree. All right, everybody, make it a great day. See you tomorrow morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.